Welcome to Sensual Sequence Contents, home of romance and sensual life stories received and shared. My name is Bridget. I am 30 years old. I haven't worked for several years because my husband, Mark, earns well and provides for us completely. To entertain myself, I take dance classes in the winter. In the summer, I retreat to our country house to escape the city's noise. The house is surrounded by a high wooden fence, providing complete privacy. The neighbors are rarely around, leaving me in solitude, free to do as I please. If I want to sunbathe, I sunbathe. If I want to tend the garden, I dig in the soil with my bare hands. Sometimes I sunbathe without a bathing suit, relishing the warm caress of the sun on my bare skin, feeling untethered, unnoticed. Or at least I thought I was unnoticed, until I realized that someone had been watching. First I paid no attention to it. But then I noticed the subtle presence. Our neighbor Simon Jones sitting on his balcony, a book in hand, his gaze occasionally drifting my way. He was in his early 50s, with silver-streaked hair and an athletic build. There was a quiet confidence about him, something undeniably alluring. A flicker of unease settled in me when I first realized he might be watching, but instead of covering myself, I felt something else, something thrilling. Over time I started positioning my lounge chair just right, making sure he had the perfect view. I took pride in my appearance, in the way I could command attention without a single word. If he wanted to look, he could. From time to time we exchanged pleasantries over the fence. He would ask about the weather and I would answer. It was routine, usual. But there was something about the way he looked at me, something that made my pulse quicken, something that sent a warm, forbidden thrill through me. One sunny afternoon, I decided to walk to a small store about 20 minutes away. The day was warm, the air thick with the scent of blooming wildflowers. Bridget, wait. I turned around to see Simon striding toward me. His movements effortless. His lips curved into a knowing smile. I'm heading to the store for cigarettes. Let's walk together, he said. Then, after a brief pause, he added with a mischievous twinkle in his eyes, "You're so brave, with a fence between us." A rush of heat spread across my cheeks. I hesitated, but I didn't correct him. Instead, I let the moment linger between us, unspoken yet heavy with meaning. After picking up what we needed, Simon invited me to his house for a cup of tea. "My wife is in town," he said casually. "It's so quiet here." I hesitated again, but I went. His terrace overlooked the vast green fields, the summer air carrying the distant hum of cicadas. Instead of tea, he poured us each a glass of wine. We talked for hours. He spoke about his work, architecture, design, the passion behind every structure he created. He was magnetic, and I was utterly captivated by the way he saw the world. As dusk settled in, I stood to leave. Then he reached for my hand. The touch was electrifying, a slow-burning fire that sent a shiver through me. We were only inches apart, and I could feel his breath on my cheek. My pulse hammered. He hesitated for only a moment before pressing his lips against mine. It wasn't like Mark's kisses, hurried, familiar, predictable. No, this kiss was slow, deliberate, filled with longing. A quiet hunger stirred in me, one I hadn't felt in years. I melted into him, unwilling to resist. When we reached his bedroom, the air was thick with anticipation. The room smelled of polished wood and fragrant herbs, a grounding yet intoxicating scent. Under his touch I felt beautiful, wanted, cherished. It was as if he knew exactly how to unravel me, how to make me come alive. That night I didn't just feel desired, I felt seen. When I left early the next morning, I felt weightless, euphoric, and yet, something dark lingered beneath the surface. I should have stopped there. But I didn't. I returned to the country house more often, drawn to it like a moth to a flame. And Simon, he came to me too. We fell into a rhythm, stolen moments becoming our dangerous little secret. It was reckless, intoxicating. And yet I couldn't stop. Yesterday Mark mentioned selling the house. "There's no point in keeping it," he said casually. "You only use it for sunbathing." I couldn't breathe. My chest tightened, panic clawing at my throat. How could I explain to him that the country house had become more than just a retreat? That within these wooden walls, I had rediscovered a part of myself I thought had long since faded. That it was here, not at home with him, that I felt truly alive. I know this affair can't last. Every moment with Simon feels like it could be our last. And yet I crave it. I count down the hours, the minutes, the seconds until I can see him again, even as guilt and self-loathing gnaw at me from the inside. I've tangled myself in a web of desire and regret, knowing that, eventually, everything will come crashing down. But until then, I will savor every stolen moment, clinging to the fleeting joy, dreading the inevitable ending. Hi guys! If you love romantic and intimate scenes that make your heart race, then you're in the right place. Here on Sensual Sequence, we bring you the most captivating moments filled with passion, chemistry, and pure emotion. Don't miss out. Hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a new upload. Let's build a community that appreciates the art of love and connection. Subscribe now and let's dive into the world of romance together.